inspire, we connect. High Power 102.7 FM.
Yes, an amazing Wednesday morning to you listeners out there. The program you're onto is In the Papers, coming to you from the stables of our Power 102.7 FM. It is a program where we preview and review to you headlines and news making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. I am Inioluwa Adekoya, and this morning I've got with me talking headlines, the Oab newspaper, the Punch newspaper, the Nation newspaper, and the Daily Post newspaper. Right about now, I will go on a short break. When I get back, I'll give you headlines making rounds in the papers this morning. Yes, welcome back. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our headlines this morning from the Oab newspaper, Adelami backs Owo as entrepreneurship hub in Ondo State. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Oab newspaper, talking Tinubu, we will keep Nigeria united despite differences. Yes, and now moving to DR Congo. DR Congo Ebola outbreak death toll, it's 2011. Yes, and now back to Ondo State. Ondo government to revive customary arbitration. UNICEF and PC step up birth registration campaign for under ones. And I'm moving to Zamfara State. Troops rescue 18 kidnapped victims, arrest 2 suspected terrorists. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Open newspaper. NIMET raises flood alert in 13 states. Yes, so now to the Punch newspaper talking Osun election. 10 battleground local government that may decide Adeleke Oyebabaji's race. Yeah, still on the Punch newspaper, still talking Osun State. Police summon Osun senator over killing comments. Yeah, still on the Punch newspaper, passengers stranded as unions ground air peace flights. Still taking headlines from the Punch newspaper, 10 cops, 2 civilians killed, 17 bandits neutralized in Kebbi State. Still on the Punch newspaper, Obasanjo Obi demand major shake-up of democratic institutions. Still on the Punch newspaper, food barrel lawmakers bat to store Rivers 1.85 trillion naira budget. And I'm moving to the Daily Post newspaper. Nigeria is not a Muslim country, Reverend Dachomo counters Sheikh Jinga. President Tinubu demands national coexistence amid rising tensions, and that is on the Daily Post newspaper. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Daily Post newspaper. NEITI audit. You have 48 hours to appear for probe. Senate to 4 oil companies. Yeah, still on the Daily Post newspaper, NCC raises alarm as road projects damage 5,000 fiber links in 6 months. Yes, and now moving to the Nation's newspaper. APP senatorial candidate advocates end to poverty. Abia government develops digital app. And finally, taking headlines from the Nation's newspaper, Okpebolo removes Subeb boss. Yes, right about now, I would go on another short break. When I get back, I'll dish out to you more headlines and more news making rounds in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Do not go anywhere. The program is in the papers, and I will be right back. Yes, glad to have you back. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. If you're just joining us, this is a program where we preview and review headlines making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. Yes, beginning on the top of the list of our headlines this beautiful morning from the Old newspaper, Adelami backs Owo as entrepreneurship hub in Ondo State. And now to the details. Ondo State Deputy Governor Dr. Olaide Adelami has pledged support for efforts to position Owo as the leading entrepreneurship hub in the state. Adelami made this commitment when he received the founder of Modupe Afis Ogun Foundation, Mrs. Modupe Afis Ogun, who is in the state as the keynote speaker at the Youth Entrepreneurship Summit scheduled to hold in Owo on the 12th of August today to commemorate this year's International Youth Day. The Deputy Governor described the summit as timely, noting that youth empowerment, entrepreneurship and self-reliance had become increasingly important to addressing the challenges facing young people. He said youths possess tremendous energy, creativity and talent which, if properly harnessed through opportunities, mentorship and adequate support, can make them active drivers of economic transformation. Adelami also commended the vision of the convener of the summit and the founder of Entrepreneurship Forge, Okpeyemi Amira Ahmed, to make Owo an entrepreneurship hub in Ondo State. They said Owo had the human capital, enterprise, and youthful energy needed to develop a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem where ideas could be transformed into businesses and skills into sustainable livelihoods. It therefore pledges support for the initiative and other efforts aimed at engaging, equipping and empowering youths in Owo and beyond. The Deputy Governor urged young people to embrace skill acquisition, entrepreneurship, innovation, and continuous learning, stressing that the future would increasingly favor those who could create value, solve problems, and transform their skills and ideas into opportunities. He further expressed optimism that the summit would be successful and impactful, and that the vision of making Owo a leading center of entrepreneurship in Ondo State would develop from an idea into a lasting reality. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline Adelami backs Owo as entrepreneurship hub in Ondo State. Yes, still on the Herb newspaper, Ondo government to revive customary arbitration. And now to the details. The Ondo State government is seeking to revive customary arbitration as part of efforts to strengthen traditional dispute resolution and prevent community conflict from unnecessarily escalating to the formal justice system. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Kayode Ajulo SAN, made the proposal in a lecture delivered recently at a 3-day workshop of the traditional rulers in Ondo State, held at the International Culture and Event Center, the Dome, Akura. Ajulo, in his lecture titled Legal Guidelines and Constitutional Limitation for Obas in Ondo State, said customary arbitration remained an effective avenue for restoring the traditional culture of reconciliation while ensuring that its practice remained within the ambit of the law. Customary arbitration gives us yet another opportunity to revive the traditional culture of reconciliation while respecting the requirement of law. It proposed the establishment of structured mediation desk in major palaces to handle appropriate community dispute before they escalate. A further stated in our quote, major policies should consider establishing structured mediation desk to handle appropriate community dispute before they escalate. Ajula also identified the appointment of Abbas as Justice of the Peace as an opportunity to link the accessibility and wisdom of traditional rulers with the former justice system. He, however, stressed the need for traditional rulers to understand the limit of their authority and distinguish between disputes suitable for customary intervention and matters requiring formal legal action. According to him, traditional rulers must know when a dispute belongs in the palace and when it should be taken to court. It specifically cautioned against the use of customary authority as a form of self-help in land dispute. It proposed that every palace adopt a land dispute referral protocol under which allegation of land grabbing, intimidation, forceful entry, and illegal occupation would be referred to the anti-land grabbing task force and other competent authorities. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, Ondo government to revive customary arbitration. Yes, still on the Herb newspaper talking Tinubu, we will keep Nigeria united despite differences. And now to the details. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to preserve the unity of the country despite their differences, saying dialogue remains essential to sustaining Nigerians as a united nation. Tinubu, represented by the Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, stated this on Tuesday at the International Conference on Security and National Unity, organized by the Jama'atu Izalati Bida wa Campus Sunnah in collaboration with the Muslim World League. The president said the government was committed to addressing Nigerian security challenges and promoting peace globally through collaboration with other nations. It said, and I quote, not only that, the government is determined to make sure that we remain united as a country despite our differences. Any differences that we should talk and remain in this country and allow this country to remain as a united nation, a united country. Tinubu said the conference was timely given the multiple security challenges confronting the world, adding that its deliberation would contribute to efforts to achieve sustainable regional, continental, and global peace. He also commended the Muslim World League for partnering with Djibouti and choosing Nigeria as the first country to host the conference. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Professor Netanyahu Wada, in his remarks warned political leaders against exploiting religion and ethnicity for political advantage, saying such actions could deepen division and cause lasting damage to the country. The APC chairman said Nigerians' diversity should be the source of strength rather than division, stressing that religious and ethnic differences should not undermine the shared shared humanity and common destiny of Nigerians. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the newspaper with the headline, Tinubu, we will keep Nigeria united despite differences. Yeah, still on the old newspaper, NIMET raises flood alert in 13 states. And now to the details. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency is warned of possible flash floods in 13 states between the 11th and the 20th of August 2026. NIMET issued the warning in an advisory posted on its X handle on Tuesday, listing 13 states across the country. The agency said the outlook was based on factors including forecast rainfall intensity, prevailing soil moisture conditions, drainage capacity, terrain, and down characteristics. It further stated, and I quote, if it serves as an early warning and decision support tool to proactive preparedness, emergency response planning, and disaster risk reduction measures. States with high flash flood risk: Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi State, Niger State, Kaduna State, Nasarawa State, Adamawa State, Plateau State, Benue State, Kogi State, Taraba State, Cross River State, and Akwa Ibom. NIMET warned that the affected areas could experience localized flash flooding, particularly in flood-prone, low-lying, urban, and riverside communities. It said possible impacts include traffic congestions, road closures, and transport disruptions, as well as temporary interruptions to electricity and telecommunication services. The agency also warned that heavy rainfall could reduce visibility and affect motorist and aviation operations, while waterlogging could damage farmland, crops, and livestock. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the old newspaper with the headline, NIMET raises flood alert in 13 states. Yes, and now moving to the Daily Post newspaper. Nigeria not a Muslim country, Reverend Dachomo counters Sheikh Jinga. And now to the details. Regional Chairman of the Church of Christ in Nations, COCIN, in Bakin Ladi local government area of Plateau State, Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo, has reacted to comments made by Islamic cleric Sheikh Sani Yahya Jinga that Nigeria is a Muslim country. The controversial Islamic scholar who made the remarks during a program in Kano State over the weekend had expressed the support for the continuation of a Muslim political arrangement, arguing that Muslims constitute the majority and should have the opportunity to lead the country. While speaking at the event, the just-based Islamic cleric had also referred to Christians in Nigeria as infidels, alluding that they were free to leave the country if they were not happy with the Muslim ticket. But while reacting to comments by Jinga in a statement, Reverend Dachomo insisted that Nigeria is not and can never be a Muslim country. While vehemently opposing Jinga's comment, the Christian cleric cautioned Sheikh against making statements that could deepen religious divisions or create hostility between Muslims and Christians in the country. He argued that political leadership in Nigeria should not be determined by religious numerical claims, but by competence, by justice, good governance, and the ability of leaders to protect the lives and property of all citizens. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Nigeria not a Muslim country, Reverend Dachomo counters Sheikh Jinga. Yeah, still on the Daily Post newspaper, and now moving to Edo State, and DLEA raises alarm over food shortages as farmers turn to cannabis cultivation. And now to the details. The Edo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has raised an alarm over the potential threat to food shortage, warning that farmers have abandoned food production in favor of cannabis cultivation in the state. Recent reports that Edo State Commander of the NDLEA, Dr. Michelle Ofoyeju, raised these concerns at the Edo Central Sanitary District Town Hall meeting organized by Senator Joseph Ikweya at Roma, Eston Northeast local government area. Ofoyeju noted that if drastic actions are not taken to address the huge trend, the people may experience acute food shortage as few arable lands would be available for farming activities. The Edo State NDLEA commander, who spoke on the topic cannabis cultivation and rural insecurity in Edo State, lamented the forced land once meant for agriculture have been converted into cannabis plantation. Of the crime, the escalating threat posed by cannabis cultivation in Edo State. It described the development as a catalyst for kidnapping, arms proliferation, cultism, and youth exploitation. He added that cannabis cultivation would also negatively contribute to environmental pollution. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Edo NDLEA raises alarm over food shortage as farmers turn to cannabis cultivation. Yes, the program you're on to is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Right about now, I will go on a short break. When I get back, the phone lines will be officially open for comments and contributions as regards any of the headlines that pique your interest in the papers this morning. Like I said earlier, it is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM, and I will be right back. Yes, glad to have you back on the program this amazing morning. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers, coming to you from the stables of iPower 102.7 FM. Yes, and now the phone lines are officially open in case you want to make one or two comments to any of the news that was read out to you and the news that is going to be read out to you. The number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. In case you want to make comment or contributions to the headlines making rounds or the news making rounds in the papers this morning, the number to call is 0816 552 4699. And I'm moving over to the Punch newspaper. Police summon Osun senator over killing comment. And now to the details. The Osun State Police Command summoned the lawmaker representing Osun East in the Senate, Senator Francis Fadausi, over a threat he reportedly issued against members of the Accord Party ahead of Saturday's governorship poll in the state. The spokesperson for the command, Abiodun Ojelabi, during a telephone interview with newsmen, confirmed that the lawmaker has been summoned by the Commissioner of Police in charge of the election, Sanu Etuafo. Ojelabi said, and I quote, "I can confirm that if Fadausi has been summoned by the CP, we will make a statement available regarding it." Recent reports that the lawmaker and the candidate of the All Progressive Congress of Ifelodun, Boripe Odortin Federal Constituency in the 2027 general election, Francis Eniade, came under fire recently for issuing a threat against the Accord Party members ahead of Saturday's governorship poll. In a video that circulated on social media, Fadausi, who spoke in Yoruba language, said that any Accord member cited in Elisha or Osun State before Saturday, when the election will be killed. Sources at the scene where Fadausi made the controversial speech told newsmen that the lawmaker spoke at the palace of the Owa Obokun of Ijesha land in Elisha during a protest organized against the alleged killing of 3 members of the All Progressive Congress in Elisha on Tuesday. Speaking in Yoruba land, Fadausi said, "How many people have you seen the APC kill? We're here to tell you that until the day of the election, if we see any Accord member in Elisha, we will kill them." In another viral video also obtained, Iniade, who was also addressing a campaign rally, said no Accord member should come out to vote at Odortin local government area on the day of the election. Eniade, who spoke in Yoruba, also said, "I was only waiting for today before I talked. I swear to God, anyone who is not an APC member should not come out on election day. If you said you wouldn't listen to us, we have warned you ahead. All the votes in Odortin belong to the APC." If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with headline, "Police summon Osun senator over killing comments." Yes, the phone lines are still open in case you want to make contributions or comments to any of the news that piques your interest. The number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. Yes, you can also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at iPower1027 FM. And now moving on, still on the Punch newspaper. Osun election, of course. Moving on, we've got this from Tinubu, and it says, "No difference worth breaking Nigerians apart." And now to the details. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to preserve the unity of the country despite their differences, saying dialogue remains essential to sustaining Nigeria as a united nation. Tinubu, represented by the Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, stated this at an international conference on security and national unity organized by the Jama'atu Islatai Bidawa Ekomatis Sunnah in collaboration with the Muslim World League. The president said the government was committed to addressing Nigerian security challenges and promoting peace globally through collaboration with other nations. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, "No difference worth breaking Nigeria apart," says Tinubu. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling
I'm
us from?
Okay,
can we have your
now
contribution?
nobody claimed the Muslim for shouting for Muslim ticket. I'm a Christian. But I want a Muslim Christian ticket. He's a Christian for I'm a Christian. We need to open the door for this Muslim ticket. This is the time we must open the door admission. This is the end of the things when I'm talking about. So blame yourself. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that contribution. Yes, you can still call us for comments and contribution. Please, when you try to call us, reduce your voice. We could clearly hear you. Yeah, the number to call is 0816-552-4699. 0816-552-4699 for contributions and comment to any of the news that piques your interest. You can call us 0816-552-4699. And now moving to Kebbi State, 10 cops, 2 civilians killed, 17 bandits neutralized in Kebbi State. And now to the details. 10 policemen, 2 civilians were killed, while 17 suspected bandits were neutralized during a gun battle between security operatives and the armed group of Sakaba local government area of Kebbi State. Recent reports alleged that the incident occurred at about 9:25 a.m. on Monday along the Rafim Makuku axis, where security personnel intercepted the suspected bandits moving between Zamfara and Kebbi State. The State Police Command said at least 17 suspected bandits were neutralized during the encounter, while 4 motorcycles belonging to the attackers were also burned. The statement was made available to newsmen by the spokesperson of the Kebbi State Police Command, Bashir Osman, recently. Osman said the security personnel engaged the attackers in a gun battle, adding that the casualty figure on the side of the bandits remains subject to further verifications. According to him, the security forces suffered significant casualties, with 10 police personnel killed and 2 others injured and currently receiving medical treatment. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, 10 cops killed, 2 civilians killed, 10 cops, 2 civilians killed, 17 bandits neutralized in Kebbi State. Yes, the phone lines are still open for comments and contributions as regards any of the news that piques your interest, like I made mention earlier. The number to call is 0816-552-4699. I will take that again slowly, 0816-552-4699. Right about now, I will go on a short break. When I get back, we would have in-house political analysts throw 1 or 2 cents into the conversations making rounds in the papers this morning. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM, and I will be right back. Yes, glad to have you back. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. And now back to the Punch newspaper. Obasanjo Obi demand major shake-up of democratic institutions. And now to the details. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress for the 2027 election, Peter Obi, have criticized Nigerian democratic system and institutions, with Obasanjo calling for an African model of democracy and Obi alleging widespread institutional decay. They spoke at the 2026 Goodluck Jonathan Foundation Democracy Dialogue in Bauchi, the Bauchi state capital. The dialogue, organized by Goodluck Jonathan's Foundation, was themed Beyond Election: Can Political Parties and the Judiciary Save African Democracy? Obasanjo, who chaired the event, said the Western liberal democracy adopted by many African countries had failed to reflect the continent's history, culture, and values. It described the system as a winner-takes-all and model that had encouraged political opponents to see one another as enemies rather than partners in governance. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Obasanjo Obi demand major shake-up of democratic institutions. Still taking news and headlines from the Punch newspaper. Fubara lawmakers battle store Rivers 1.85 trillion naira budget. And now to the details. Revelation of a march as to why the 2026 appropriation bill submitted by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to the Rivers State House of Assembly has not been passed into law 1 month after the lawmakers received it. Investigation by newsmen revealed that fresh agreements between Martin and Mewule-led Assembly and the governor are the major reason for the delay in passing the budget, even as little has been heard about the proposal. Recall that Fubara presented an appropriation bill of 1.854 trillion naira, christened the budget of resilience for growth and development, to the Assembly for consideration and approval on the 10th of July 2026. Receiving the budget from the governor, the speaker expressed concerns over the late presentation, but assured that lawmakers would give the proposal the attention it deserved in the interest of the state. This delay has raised concerns, especially as the budget was presented late due to the lingering political crisis that rocked the state. Also, there has been little information about the budget defense of other legislative proceedings expected to allow lawmakers to scrutinize the proposal before its passage. Investigations by newsmen show that some projects across the state, including the multi-billion naira ring road, are either not being executed or have been carried out on a limited scale, apparently due to lack of appropriated funds. However, criticism have trailed the proposed 41.4 billion naira allocation to the State House of Assembly, with some stakeholders and residents saying the amount is too high, while a few have defended the allocations because the House requires adequate funding to carry out its function. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Fubara lawmakers battle store Rivers 1.85 trillion naira budget. Yes, the phone lines are still open for comments and contributions. Like I made mention earlier, the number to call is 0816 552 4699, 0816 080-5524-699. And now moving away from that, still on the Punch newspaper, we've got this amazing one coming from Cristiano Ronaldo, as Cristiano Ronaldo marries long-term partner Georgina Rodriguez. And now to the details. Cristiano Ronaldo and his long-term partner Georgina Rodriguez got married yesterday in a ceremony in Portuguese resort Caceres, said the football superstar representative. The wedding capped a decade-long relationship and came after days of intense media speculation in Portugal over the location and timing of the ceremony. Ronaldo, a 41-year-old, shared a photo of the couple's hands with the wedding bands and the caption, "See Heart G," on his Instagram handle. The couple's 5 children attended the private and intimate ceremony. The Brunswick Group, which handled the players' public relations, told newsmen. The couple tied the knot exactly 1 year after Rodriguez, a 32-year-old influencer, announced their engagement on Instagram. Ronaldo, who played for Portugal at the World Cup this summer, where they exited in the last 16, currently plays for Saudi club Al Nassr. The former Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus forward won the Ballon d'Or for the world best player 5 times. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Cristiano Ronaldo marries long-term partner Georgina Rodriguez. Yes, so now I quickly take a flight to the Nation's newspaper, now moving to Edo State. Okpebolo removes suburb boss. And now to the details. The Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebolo, has removed Ebahite Omezani as chairman of the Edo Universal Basic Education Board. No official statement has been released why she was removed, but a letter by Secretary to the state government, Musa Ekilo, said Governor Okpebolo has nominated Ayewo Oyakilome as the new chairman of SUBAB. Government sources said Ebohin Ita was removed 2 months ago. She was reportedly asked not to resume. Ayewo is the 4th person to be named chairman of the Edo Suburb within 2 years of Okpebolo's administration. The governor first appointed Dr. Padi Iyamu as Suburb chairman, but later redeployed him as the commissioner for education. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation's newspaper with the headline, Okpebolo removes Suburb's boss. Yes, the program is still in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Our time is fast spent on the program this morning. Right about now, I will go on a short break. When I get back, I will wrap it up on the program this morning. Don't go anywhere. The program is in the papers, and I will be right back. Yes, and with that, I have come to a wrap in today's edition of In the Papers. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Until next time, stay tuned to iPower 102.7 FM for endless list of informative and entertaining programs coming your way shortly. I remain Inioluwa Adekoya. Have a wonderful day and God bless Nigeria.